Miss Laquanda, how you doing?
How you doing?
All right, so good to see you. I met Miss Michelle. She told me about you, and she wanted me to contact you to get an interview with you.
Okay.
So welcome. I appreciate you coming to share your experience with everyone in New Orleans and across America. And of course, we just had the 20th anniversary of Katrina.
Yeah.
Wish I could have gone to the commemoration. The mayor, she went there and um, heard a lot of experiences. So it's been 20 years, and we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have um, Ms.
For
Laquanda Moore Alford.
Yes, correct.
All righty, pleasure to have you.
Nice to be here.
All righty.
On the site.
All righty. So, um, of course, you've probably seen Mr. Walters' interview.
Yes.
Um, I told people that everybody had their own experience
Right.
during Katrina. So, what did you think about Mr. Walters' perspective?
It was his story, and every story is unique of what happened on the hurricane.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Um, of course, he was in
There's
a nursing home in the East, so I think he had a little bit different experience. But we're looking forward to hearing about yours. So before we get started, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and who Miss Laquanda is.
well, I'm Laquanda Moore
Laquanda
Elford.
Moore Alford.
I am a widow, and a mother of two,
Okay.
and a New Orleans native.
All right.
Die-hard, born and raised.
Okay. All righty. And growing up in New Orleans, um, I'm 44, so I don't know if you're younger or older.
Younger.
Younger.
42 in
All right.
December.
You say 32?
I wish 42.
Okay. I used to be good at math. Good thing about New Orleans that we got some good genes.
Right.
But because Mr. Walter, he doesn't look 85.
No.
But yeah, New Orleans is prone to hurricanes
Right.
over the years, and Mr. Walter mentioned Hurricane Betsy, which was before our time.
Right.
And then we had Katrina, which was 50 years after Betsy in '05.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to hearing your experience with that. So, and thank you for coming to the interview. So we're going to go ahead and release the Kraken. Okay, Miss Laquanda. As in the first video, I'll repeat, the point of reference is August 29th, 2005. That's the day that we all going to remember, that, we can't forget.
Never.
We can't, that's in our memories and our genes now, that struggle. Go ahead and tell us about, where were you before the storm? Who were you with? What was going on? And I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay. So I was at home in New Orleans East. It was my mom, my sister, my brother, and my cousin, and myself.
Okay.
And we all just was inside in the East in the house.
Okay. Were you near like Lake Forest or?
We was near Lake Forest, between Lake Forest and Crowder Boulevard.
Okay. All right.
Right in the middle, like right off I-10.
Okay. It's kind of like my hood. I'm near Crowder and Morrison,
Okay.
so that's why I am.
Yeah.
So that was August 29th was a Monday.
Okay.
So that Saturday and Sunday, what can you remember about what you were doing before the storm passed through us?
Just like regular New Orleans stuff. Just I was working. I was a security officer for Vincent Guard Service in New Orleans, and just doing typical like work and just hanging out with my family. Just hanging out.
Okay. All right. So normal life.
Normal life, normal
Yeah.
New Orleans living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think a lot of things changed after Katrina.
Most definitely a lot.
Because even me going to Warren Easton, they changed the school name,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things changed. But as far as the people's attitudes, like before the 29th
Mm-hmm.
of August 2005, well, what was the whole atmosphere back then in the East as far as before the storm?
It was like just fun, like hanging out at the plaza. We had the plaza with it's not there anymore.
Preseason,
yeah, like it was like we was I think we was going into like football, football season. I know like my brothers they had started school. My sister she was going to UNO University. That was her first year of school, a freshman, and my brothers was starting school. My older brother at Reed. I can't remember what my little brother was starting school at, but I remember it was during like that first like that when school first started, like
Correct.
around that time.
Okay.
So it was just like regular New Orleans, how we just have our little fun and
yeah. So because I know August is preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Going into regular season.
Yeah.
So if you're from New Orleans, you know about that.
Right.
You know
That's
that.
right.
Yeah, that's just as big as religion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was actually visiting my parents because I was going to LSU and fall semester started. So I came down in my Nissan Altima and they live near Oxnard, so I was spending the weekend with them.
Okay.
So that's where I was. I was in Jefferson. And of course back then they still had the plaza, right?
Yeah, we
in
still
the East.
had the plaza. It was kind of going down like the stores. It wasn't the plaza no more, but they had little stores. But it still was a place for us to hang out. They had the little movie theater.
Yeah.
Back there.
Should we bring it back? Or
I think
a shopping mall?
They need to bring a shopping mall. We need some grocery stores.
Yeah.
The East is just not the same. I feel like it's just like across the canal, like they just never rebuilt it back for us.
Yeah. If I had a chance to lead, I would definitely build a shopping mall to where it would never flood. In the case you do have another Katrina, we'll have somewhere to go, for information, refuge, food, and stuff like that. So I would love to see that like it was before Katrina, shopping mall for the East.
We need that.
But back then everything was pretty normal.
Pretty normal.
Day-to-day life.
Day-to-day life.
Saints football, hot summer,
Mm-hmm.
gumbo, crawfish, all that
good stuff. Snowballs.
Baby.
Right. Right. Snowballs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So on that note, the storm is approaching Louisiana coast, and it's we kind of got lucky a little bit because the way the hurricane went, because had it been a little bit to the west, we would have been in real trouble.
Right.
By Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about when the storm was approaching landfall, and you're looking at the news during that time and what was going on.
Well, I remember, if I could go back, I remember at first they didn't have like no evacuation plan because they really didn't. I don't know if they knew, like, because the storm was supposed to turn another way, but then last minute it kind of, I guess, made a curve towards Louisiana.
Correct.
So I remember them saying, okay, we're gonna have a mandatory evacuation, and I'm thinking like, this probably was for a day or two before the storm actually hit.
Yeah.
So I remember watching that and wanting to actually evacuate. I wish we would have, but my story would have been quite different if we would have evacuated. But I just know we stayed.
Yeah.
We were supposed to leave, but I don't know what happened while we stayed. But we did stay, and I just remember that night when the storm actually was passing through, and I remember like looking like through my window, like I had my window, like my blinds up, like looking, like laying down looking, and I could hear
Lights still
the
on.
the whispering of the wind, like like, and I'm like, okay, that's the storm, like passing, like that's it, that's the storm, and whew, and
Yeah.
after that, it was like okay,
Yeah.
the storm passed. I slept, I went to bed, woke up, and it was just like, okay, we dodged the bullet. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
Because me and my family, we was four of us and a dog.
Mm.
I had an apartment outside of LSU, so that's when Nagin issued the mandatory evac. They had the contraflow.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides going out of the city, and that was, I want to say, was that Saturday? So as the storm was approaching, do you think there could have been a maybe an earlier warning for the folks in Southeast Louisiana?
Yes, I believe it should have been like
Mm-hmm.
early on, because imagine all those people trying to get out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish
Category 5.
yeah, I wish it really was ordered, issued out ahead of time, like days before.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The storm has made landfall,
Mm-hmm.
and it has touched down in the boot of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So, how were the emotions back then? And you watching the news, being with family? Uh, can you recount what was going on that weekend before the 31st, the 29th?
Before the 29th,
Yeah.
if you saying like before the storm made landfall, when the storm made landfall.
Yeah, I would say, but basically before the lights had
The lights had
gone.
went out.
Yes.
Okay. So we actually had power. They what? After the storm hit, we had power. Like that's like we wake up, we like, okay, so we dodged the bullet, and that's what we thought. We thought we dodged the bullet. And I remember going to the front of the house, and I was looking out the window, and I'm like, okay, because my little had a little Saturn, and it had just got hit some wild couple of weeks ago. It had got hit before the storm, so it was just sitting like on the outside on the curb.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, they got water. I said, look at that water coming up. And I was looking at the tire, and I was like, wait. And I went back and I'm like, wait, the water is like over the tire now.
And what day was that?
That was actually on the day the storm hit.
Okay.
So I'm like, we woke up after the storm. I guess it made landfall because we thought we was okay. We still had power and everything. So I'm like, okay, they got water. I'm like, it's above the tire. Then the next thing you know, it just started rising up. I'm like, wait, the water
is that from rain or surge?
I think that was from the surge. That was from the rain because it was okay. Outside was all right. So I just look, I'm like, wait, the water is rising and it's rising. I'm like, wait, not a water. I see something going on. We never knew nothing about the levees. We never knew about no water coming in. We was like, where's this water coming from? And then that's all I remember, like water was coming like up, coming through the door, the front door. So I remember my mom saying, oh, we gotta get some stuff like to try to, put by the door so water don't come in, because we was never expecting it to get inside of the house.
Right.
And then it just came, and then it was like to our waist, then it just sucked. And so we had just everybody, we gathered, we went into the attic, and we didn't know, but my neighbors to the left of us, their roof completely had blown off. So they was by us, they came in
the wind.
From the wind.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know, I didn't even know they had like bad wind damage over there by them, because the house we was in was a newly built house, so we had like new roof, brick and stuff. So all I know, we had over the time, like that day, like over 20 something people had came in our attic, like our neighbors. And then from the water rising, because of where our street was, we didn't have like power lines. It had like everything was underground, like that new stuff. So that's when the water came through. That's what actually cut the lights and everything out.
Okay.
So we was in that attic.
Yeah. And that was that the 29th or 28th?
The 29th.
29th, okay. That was the day it passed. Okay. Because, I tell people that New Orleans East is kind of a newer part of New Orleans. because everything started with the French Quarter,
Hmm.
then Mid City, then Gentilly, and then the East.
Right.
And like you mentioned, the power lines were underground,
Yes.
kind of like in Georgia,
Yeah.
they have underground. So, so when the lights went out, um, is that when everybody was gathering to the attic where you were?
Like before.
Before.
Because we still had like light outside.
Okay.
But at night, then we didn't have no light. It was dark, and we had like candles. You know how we get prepared. We go get candles and all kind of light stuff. Yeah. So we had that source of light inside of the attic.
Okay. All righty. And what was it like, inside the attic with everybody, coming together trying to get to safety?
It was. Oh, we did.
Because I've seen images from Baton Rouge, but I wasn't in the city.
Yeah. It was a mess. I mean, like, we did the best we could because, of course, my mama wanted to help people out who didn't have nowhere to go because they didn't have an attic, right? Because their roof and everything, we already had an attic, but they didn't.
1 story or 2 story?
Yeah, we had 1 story.
All right, but it was high enough.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I remember the smell. I remember like it was just, even though it was on the 29th, it just was like a smell, like imagine a lot of people and everybody have different smells.
Like a swampy kind of?
Yeah, like a swampy, like a musty, like, just a smell from all those bodies just in one space, in the attic,
Yeah.
And I just remember that, and it's just sad, because I couldn't imagine us just being in the attic.
So adults and kids coming together.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So at what point did all the lights going out in the East, like power, resident lights, at what point was that all out?
That was out, like, once that water started rising up, then we lost complete, like, power and stuff. Because I remember at night it was, like, so black, like pitch black. You couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it was just black out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to say, like, right after the storm had passed, and then once that water started coming up, it cut power completely out to the east.
Okay. All righty.
To my area.
Okay.
We was off.
All right. And as far as sustenance and everybody feeding themselves, was there enough to go around as far as, or was it everybody's focused on getting to the safety point?
Yeah, we was all about safety. We was in survival mode.
Yeah.
I can't even remember us having no food up there, no water. I just know we was in like survival mode, like
right. Yeah.
Up there.
Okay. All right. How did I know it must have been tough for the kids to go through that. Well, what was their reaction as when y'all was coming together and trying to make sure everybody was okay? Were they
confused?
Yeah.
Like, they have never been, because the youngest had to be my little brother at the time, and I believe he was like 9 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, he was 9.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
So, like, he never been through a hurricane. So, just confused, like, what's going on?
Yeah. Okay. All righty. All right. So all the lights are out in the house and on the street.
Yeah.
And all the folks are in the attic right now.
Yes.
To take us back to what was going on, amongst y'all, the whole atmosphere, the mood, the feeling, and what y'all were trying to do to get the safety.
We didn't know what we was all new to all of us. We just in the attic, we talking, we like trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening, where does water come from. It's like we was like all saying, maybe it came from the lake, the storm, was so strong it must have pushed the water over the lake, pumped the drain into the area.
Mm-hmm.
And you just was talking, anxious, like we didn't know what our next steps was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't know We just didn't know. Just was trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We stood there for 2 days.
Yeah.
We like, wait, what's going on? Like nobody ain't come check on us.
Yeah.
Like
So
we
in there for 2 days.
yeah.
So what days of the week was that?
I can't even remember the days of the week.
It was probably early that week. When,
it probably was.
Early week. Yeah.
I remember that next day after we stood in the first day we was there. So we got out, the water was like right up to here, right here to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we got out.
From ground level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like over our waist. I remember going outside and it was so sunny, like the water. It was so pretty outside. I mean, the sun was shining, just so beautiful. And I remember, like, when we walked out, we saw, like, the other neighbors to the right of us,
mm-hmm.
and all of those folks were outside, and they were talking, and so they know that we was in the attic, and they had upper, like, it was, like, 2-story. Mm-hmm. So, it was like, oh, y'all could come over here, like, y'all, get out the attic. Mm-hmm. So, we went over there, but I remember, I don't know, I think somebody from over there had wound up going into our house, mm-hmm. and it was stealing stuff from our house. Like, I mean, in a hurry, with the water up, like, because my sister had a video camera. My sister loved to record. So my sister had all the footage. She recorded everything, like us being in the attic, the water, and all that.
And she still have it? Oh,
they stole the camera.
Oh, yeah.
They stole the camera.
Yeah.
But I talked to my sister on yesterday, and I was asking her about like footage that she had, and she was like, I still have like the tapes. Like she was like, I don't have that day of the hurricane, but I have like tapes like during,
right
before the storm, like with us and stuff like that. So I can't get to watch that. We gotta get us a VCR so we can, so she could get that, so we could watch it, because I want to show my kids how life was in New Orleans, because this is a whole nother New Orleans now. Before.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like, I remember us getting out, and I remember them, like, they must have stole like some food and stuff, the people. And I remember we just went back to we said, we gonna go back to our house, we'll be much better. And I remember, I don't know who came up with this idea. I think it was Luke, one of the guys who was our neighbor, who was in the attic. And he was like, we gotta get out of here, because we lived it right there by the interstate. Like, our house was literally like right there, but I didn't know how to swim. Still don't know how to swim. My mom knew how to swim a little bit. Okay. My sister knew how to swim. Like, a lot of people know how to swim, but I remember my little brother. I remember someone getting a piece of some plywood that must have flew off someone's house, and I remember them putting my little 9-year-old brother on that plywood, and they was like trying to get everybody over. And I just remember me, like, on my tippy toes, like on the house, on the buildings, like holding on, like, to get to the interstate. And I remember
water still waist high.
Yeah. And probably higher than that. And I remember all of us getting to I-10, like the interstate. And it was like, of course, they didn't have no water on the actual interstate. Yeah,
federal higher standards.
Yeah. So I remember us getting to the interstate, and I just remember, like, we walked, and we could see, like, because when you it's low, then when you get to like crowded, then it have that little hump, like, I guess for the trucks to go over, like 18-wheelers. So I remember us just walking up to that point, and that's when you could see, like, crowded, like all the water, like all that water, like, cause we was at a higher point, and you could see everybody trying to make their way to the bridge. It was a sad time, because I was crying, because one, we was in that dirty, filthy water. Then you see, like, dogs was, like, you could see that they was trying to get over wherever they were, like a gate, like someone's home, and the dog must have got stuck with the gate wires, and it was just real nasty. Like, I just remember that. Sewage.
I can only imagine.
Just imagine, like, walking through all that nasty water. Like,
and so that was before the water level got worse, right?
Yes.
Because I know some areas are deeper than
We
others.
didn't even know across the canal like was all the way up to the roof. Like we didn't even know about that area because we just thinking it was our area. Like we thinking like Lake Pontchartrain water, just the storm surge and the water went over the and came into the area. That's all. We never knew nothing about across the canal of what had happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how was the rescue and evacuation? Describe that for us.
Well, okay, so we made it to the bridge, like me, my family, our neighbors that's with us, and a lot of other people. And I remember we got to Morrison, and that was the far as we could go. Morrison, I'm saying Morrison wants to, how it goes down, then it goes up by that Morrison right there. So we got on that bridge, and I remember we couldn't walk through that water because it was really high. So I remember someone, again, they had, I don't know if it was a boat or air mattress, but they was getting everybody from Morrison to over to Chef. Because I believe Chef, the water wasn't like really high on Chef Highway.
There were other residents trying to
help everybody.
Too.
Like they had, everybody was coming amongst each other to help everyone.
Okay.
And I remember it was me and my mom. They had got everybody had got over, like except for me, my mom, and my neighbor. I wonder how she doing, Ms. Yvette.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it was Ms. Yvette, me and my mom. We was like the only three left out all those people. Everybody was able to get over to Chef.
Okay. And
I just remember a helicopter landing on that Morrison Bridge, and it was saying, come on. They was yelling at us. They was like, get on. My mom kept on saying, my children.
Right.
They was like, oh, we going back to get them. This is what they say. They said, we going back to get them. Mama said, but my children, I don't want to leave my children. They went over to the other side. And they was saying we had to get on. Like, it wasn't no question, nothing. I mean, these people in that helicopter was so mean and rude. I mean, the way how they was handling us. So
servicemen?
I don't know. I guess they was. It wasn't local. It was definitely military. And I remember they said, get on. Like my mama keep trying to let them know, like my children. And it was like, get on. Like, and we had to get on. It was like nothing we could do at this point. So me and my mom and Miss Yvette, we got on along with some other people. And it really wasn't that many people. And I remember us flying. It was like my first time ever. Like I've been flying on airplanes since I was young.
So the servicemen, they didn't empathize with us, or they didn't.
They didn't care. I guess they felt like they in rescue moves, so that's all they thinking about.
Right.
So I remember us literally landing on Causeway, like right on Causeway, and we was actually one of the first helicopters to land because it was no one out there. It was so clean, and we was there just standing there waiting, nothing, no water, nothing, just us standing. And I remember like helicopter after helicopter would come and drop people off. And I remember me and my mom just looking busy back because she also had family members who had went over to the other side. So we just waiting on our family because they told us they was going back to get them. So me and my mama, we waiting helicopter after helicopter, dropping people off. Never seen my brother, my sister, Miss Yvette family. We never got to see them. And I just remember, like, no one knew what time it was. The only way you knew what time it was when it started to get dark. So you know it was getting late. And my mom said, my children never made it yet. Like, where they at? And we trying to get help. And no one, like, I guess it was just a toll on everybody. It was a lot because that was the most devastating time, like, ever. So we just stood there and they never came. And my mom was so mad. And I remember her.
That was after you got the kids?
No, we never got them.
Okay.
We didn't know where they was at for like a week. Like we never knew where they was at.
Okay.
Like, cause they never brought them. So that night, my mom was just so mad. And she just was.
Oh yeah.
going off.
Yeah.
My mama was flipping out because she like, my children, because to remind you, my brother was 9 years old and my other brother, he probably was he was a teenager because he was going to Secretary.
Yeah.
And my sister, that was her first year, she was like 17, 18 because she was going to UNO, that was her first semester there. So they was gone. It was just me and my mama. So I remember they was getting so irritated with my mom, like the police officers, like state police, I believe it was state police, because they was like, she causing a scene and stuff. So I remember they had got me and my mom a car. It was like a state trooper car, and they put us in the back of that, and they just took us to Baton Rouge. And that's it. Like, we never saw my brother and my sister. We never knew where they was at.
That sounds like something that I don't want to say, but to be separate from your family,
right,
in a situation like that,
and that
is not good
at all. Good. So you could imagine me. I'm just a sister, and that's my siblings, and I love them.
Yes.
But imagine my mom, like my children. You know, like when you don't have no control over the situation. Right. She had no control over the situation, because even once they had the state police to get me and my mom and Miss Yvette, because Miss Yvette was with us, and had them to bring us to Baton Rouge, they was so mean. Like the
Causeway.
Yeah, okay. They was so mean because once we got there and they dropped us off, like the state police, they had told him like, oh, I guess it was among them. They brought us to, I remember, it was like, I guess that's the convention center because it was right by a river. So, and I remember like when they dropped us off, they was telling the people like that was over there was saying that my mom was causing trouble, like letting them know like, oh, she causing a lot of trouble. And I just remember us just being there, and I remember people was bringing clothes, and it was giving us like, I just felt like out of place. Like it was, I like, wait, I went from this to now having like, you know, like people bringing clothes and toothbrushes, and because remind you, we had on them stinky clothes.
Yeah, for days. Yeah. For
days. I mean, smelling like who know what. Like it was a time. Yeah. It was a time. That was time. And I remember just sleeping there. I remember we had to clean ourselves, like brush our teeth. I do remember brushing our teeth, cleaning ourselves in like the bathroom, like with the water.
Yeah, the best you can.
Yeah, like to do the best we could. And I remember my mom. We wound up. My mom was like, because you know they was donate and stuff. With my mom like, because we couldn't fit none of the stuff. You know, you gotta go through clothes, you gotta find your size and all that. So I remember when my mom had went to a Walmart, and we went to a Walmart.
And what location that was at? That was
in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
I remember my mom going to a Walmart.
All right. And
she was like, "Come on, we have to go get some clothes and some shoes." And stuff like that, because at the same time we're still trying to find out what my siblings was. We had no idea what it was at. So
I remember the Baton Rouge mayor was like, "Y'all better not come here and start no mess," you know, because I was in my part with my family, and they knew that Baton Rouge had become the biggest city overnight because everybody was coming west, you know, and of course y'all made it to Baton Rouge.
Yes.
How was the reception in Baton Rouge when y'all arrived?
The people was nice. Like the people was nice because I guess they like trying to help us. So they doing the best they could do.
Right.
But we not used to this. We outside our city. Like, you know, we appreciate what they're trying to do. But at the same time, my mom like, we gotta find my children. They didn't have nothing set up. Like where you could find, and eventually they came up with a system where you could locate your family members.
Okay.
But
that was the time when we didn't have those advanced phones.
Right.
We had the
flip phones.
The flip phones. Yeah. Okay. So we didn't have those phones with the 3 cameras and all that.
No, we didn't have all that. No.
Yeah.
But we did. We went to, I remember going back, me and my mom went to this Walmart. and we still was like smelly because this was the next day after we made it to there. I don't even know what we had. Shoot, we probably had sandals on, something that the people had gave us, like some flip flops or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my mom, we were just putting stuff in the basket. And I remember this person had passed us up, and it was laughing, like. And I just remember my mom was just going, oh, saying, you don't know what we just been through, because they probably didn't know we was from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a basket full of stuff, because we was like, we got to take a bath, we got to get out of these clothes. And I remember the people just buying, they felt so bad. They was like, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. And I remember them buying everything that we had in our basket.
Okay.
But then we wound up leaving out of that shelter because my mom had friends from New Orleans who had moved years ago, like to Baton Rouge.
And Baton Rouge was y'all didn't go to Texas, y'all was in Baton Rouge.
We was in Baton Rouge at this time.
All right.
So we got to my mom's friend house. Thank God she helped us, Miss Karen. So she let us in. I remember Miss Karen's boyfriend was kind of helping us around like the city and stuff like that, like letting us know like, oh, this is the place we gotta go. Like if you, cause I'm like, we gotta find our kids. So I remember we went to the library. And I don't know about this lady. I don't know if this was Miss Karen's friend, but I get to ask my mom. This lady was so nice to us because we were able to find my sisters and brothers, because while we were there, my god sister was also in Baton Rouge at that library. And so she was like, oh, I just saw them name on here, my sister. And they was all the way in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Wow, that's a good little minute. That's by the border.
Yes, they was all the way in Corpus Christi, Texas. That was my first time ever hearing of Corpus Christi, but that's where they was at.
By bus or helicopter?
I can't remember. I'm gonna have to ask I know my sister probably told me how they got there, but I can't remember how they got there. But I know they got there. So my family, who had already previously evacuated, they had went to Dallas. My mom, my aunts, and everybody. So all my family was in Dallas. So we know we need to make it to Corpus Christi, Texas, and we have to make it to Dallas, Texas. So this lady, whoever she was so kind and sweet. She actually paid for the tickets, my mom and our tickets, to get to Dallas. And then she paid for the tickets for us from Dallas to get to Corpus Christi, and from us to get from Corpus Christi back to Dallas. Like, she was so sweet.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, so the government didn't help us with that. This lady actually helped us with that. So I remember we got to Dallas, Texas, by my aunt's house. And, we just got situated because we didn't know what we was going to do. But eventually Dallas did become our home, which my mom still lives in Dallas.
Yeah, I have an uncle in Dallas, never came back.
I have a lot of cousins.
Mesquite, right outside Dallas.
Okay, I know exactly what that's at.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of family. That's where a lot of my family is still in Dallas. They never came back. Like, they don't want to come back. So I remember us getting to my aunt's house. We got situated. Then it was time for my mom and us to go get my sister and my brothers and my little cousin. So we went to Corpus Christi and we got them, and we stayed out there with them for like a couple of days, because they was in the shelter out there. Then they had some good people, they was adopted. They had people adopting families. So my little cousin and my little brother was adopted by this family who took really good care of them. Like, took care, because they was gone we was like for some weeks. We didn't know. I want to say like probably like 3 weeks. Like, so they had their little family, adopted little family that was sweet. And I remember we just all made our way back to Dallas, and then, like I said, Dallas became our home.
Okay, all right. So, of course, the power went out, and we had the old phones. Now, how limited was communication with the old phones we had during that time, and how you're able to, or how much of the phones were you able to use before the batteries went out?
We wasn't able to use. I think we lost communication because we didn't have we didn't have
no coverage.
yeah, we
That
didn't have
signal.
no, back in the days, that's a whole different time.
Yeah.
Now we have 5G and all that.
Yeah.
But none of us ain't have no phone to communicate with nobody. And we had cell phones. Me, my mom, my sister.
Even if you had juice, there was no connection. Okay.
No connection.
Okay.
Yep.
So amongst New Orleanians, there were rumors about things that happen on bridges. People trying to get to safety. And of course, there were multiple bridges.
Right.
So go ahead and tell us what you can recount about, getting to safety, transport, and what you heard about things that went on bridges.
Okay. So I know we got to the causeway. Like I was saying, we was like the first helicopter to actually land. So I'm saying there was like us and a few people. And I just remember more helicopters landing, more people. And so, when they have more and more people, then you start to get more and more stuff. I don't know what all this stuff came from, but I just know it had just started to get like dirty outside, like all kind of stuff just outside.
Before the buses showed up.
This was way before the buses actually showed up because we was transported, like I was saying, in like a state trooper vehicle.
Is it like midweek?
This is like, I want to say we in probably like day 3 or 4.
All right.
Yeah, so we got transported. So that's all my experience I had for as like us being rescued from off of a bridge off of Morrison and then getting to the causeway.
Okay.
But like I was telling you, my sister and my brother, my brothers, because I have 2, they had a different story about their experience. And I know it was like really like sad to hear. Like I told you, my brother was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So, just listening him say like we walked on the bridge and they saw like dead bodies. It's like his first time.
He's almost 30 now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It will be 30 March.
All right.
He'll be turning 30. So he just was saying like, they had all kind of dead bodies, like babies, like, like on the bridge, like people was covered up, like, something he never seen, like something you expect to see out of a movie, not in here,
the most powerful country in the world.
Right, right. So they had an experience, like, were walking on that bridge. Imagine walking on the bridge from New Orleans East all the way to the convention center, because that's where they...
That wasn't the high rise, it was the other bridge that connects, like from Diamond to...
Danziger?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe, because they would say it was on Shep. I remember them saying it was on Shep. So I want to say by them getting over on that side, they must have walked down to Shep, then went over to Danziger, because I remember they said it was in the Gentilly.
And the U.S. highway is a little bit more elevated, right?
Yeah, because it really didn't have all that water right there, like I'm on Chef Mature Highway over to the Gentilly area. So I remember they say somebody highwayed a U-Haul ran out of gas, so they had to get on the interstate, and they just started walking. And that's when they saw the bodies and all the families and people they didn't know. They even saw my aunt, and it was just saying, like, we just all at the convention center, and it was, they have some horrible scenes what they saw at that convention center.
Yeah, I saw that one. I told Mr. Walter I saw that one clip with the lady in the wheelchair. That's one that still stick with me. Seen it on CNN, the national news, and I only saw one snapshot, but he said that that lady, she had a son, and she died in his arms or something like that. Convention center. It was a bunch of stories. So what have you heard about what happened on certain bridges? Because I know JP had an issue with Orleans coming over to JP. So what have you heard?
I have heard that too. I heard it was saying like people on the Crescent City Connection Bridge, like, because people was trying to walk over thinking that I guess like the Airjets area was okay, and they were saying they was greeted by like JP with guns, telling them they can't come over on that
So
side.
they had a blockade.
Yeah, say you
Okay.
can't come on this side.
Mm.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I heard people actually say that.
Yeah. Because I saw the pictures right by Xavier and Howard.
Mhm.
You know that they got the little Carrollton overpass,
Right.
and the people walking up, and you can see the water. The I-10 dips when you go downtown, so that was underwater, and you can see maybe like 50 residents walking up the Carrollton overpass away from the water.
Mm-hmm.
So I know those folks are trying to get the high ground too.
Right.
But now, as far as those days, as far as getting sustenance and energy and something to eat, how was that experience?
Whew.
Were there leftovers, or were there like little snacks here and there, or
You know what?
you just focus on getting out?
Getting out. I can't even go back to what I ate or did I eat. I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't even remember eating.
You'd be amazed what adrenaline does.
Right.
But go ahead.
Right. I don't even remember eating. You'll know like, oh, when you ate something, because you'll be like, oh, this is my first meal. I waited so long. I was in that house. I don't even remember eating. I know I probably ate, but I don't even remember it.
Yeah. So y'all probably saw what soldiers see in the battlefield.
Oh, that food, that love. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The MREs.
That's what we had. Yeah, that's the love, and that love brown packaging.
Yeah, because we had some of those in Baton Rouge, because they were giving that out to people in Louisiana.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember that. So that wasn't a good meal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't know what I ate, because that surely wasn't. But I remember those little meals.
Yeah. A lot of calories. I remember turning on the back of it. Yeah, a lot of calories.
Mm.
And as far as like, I know soldiers see a lot of dead bodies in combat, and people in New Orleans saw a lot of dead bodies. So what impact did that have on people trying to get out?
Well, that's just so unreal.
Yeah.
That's so unreal, just seeing. Like I said, I saw that dog. I remember that dog was stuck on the gate, and it was just so, like, that's what I saw. I didn't get to see, like, actual dead bodies. I didn't get to experience, like, see that. But I remember seeing that dog.
Yeah.
Every time I pass right there, like if I ride on that service road by Morrison, I remember that house with that dog. I'd be like, this where that dog was at.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's folks around America, they saw certain things on CNN, but as far as what y'all experience, they probably would never ever know all the details. Not just getting the safety, but not having nothing to eat, not having because I can't go a day without a shower.
Right.
I mean, I gotta have a shower.
Right.
And to try to get the safety, that was something that the people were focused on.
Right.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
Yeah, we wasn't worried about eating, drinking, and trust me, we was thirsty. Drinking, none of that. We was trying to worry about getting out of here.
Don't worry about no saints, no nothing.
Well, that was a time. That really was a time when you think about it.
Yeah, because you know how New York love their Yankees.
Like to think about it.
We love our Saints,
right.
But at that particular moment, you want to think about no football. No football. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm an English teacher, and I listen to a lot of words, and the media use the word refugee. And I'm 44 years old, and I noticed that the national media don't like New Orleans. I've seen patterns. They're not keen to Louisiana and New Orleans. Because we a unique state, unique city. So, how do you feel about the national media referring to us as refugees?
When I had heard that, I was so sick. I was like, refugees. I said, ain't we Americans? Like, we, this is where we live. I thought refugees was for people from another country that's coming to another country,
Mm-hmm.
like that's been through something. But I'm like, we are Americans, African Americans. We've been here.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we refugees? I don't even know where they get that from.
Yeah.
Refugees. That was something to call us. That's what we was called. Because when we was in Dallas, Texas, that's what they called us. Refugees. The refugees.
Dallas folks?
Yep.
Wow.
They called us the refugees. It was all on the news, even the news stations.
Uh-huh.
It was, you know how they was getting coverage and they was saying how people was coming in from New Orleans to Dallas, the refugees. That's what they called us.
Wow.
Refugees.
Wow. Well, America doesn't know that some of the best people in the world come from New Orleans.
Right.
And they don't know that.
Mm.
But I know that.
And I know that too.
We've been a city longer than the U.S. been a country.
Mm-hmm.
Longer than Texas been a state.
Mm-hmm.
Longer than Dallas been a city. Atlanta, Houston, Minneapolis. New Orleans got a lot of history.
We do.
And,
Culture.
black, white, everything.
Everything.
So food, culture, Mardi Gras. So you think they could have picked a better word as far as not using refugee?
Yes. They could have definitely picked a better word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They could have definitely, because refugees, that wasn't a word.
Yeah. Reverend Al Sharpton had an issue with that 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, why are you calling us refugees? We fought for World War I,
Right.
World War II, and because probably our ancestors, fought in the war, World War II. So you think we would have earned our stripes by now?
Right, most definitely. I just think they just looked at us as a really poor city,
Mm-hmm.
a real poor city with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of minority, black, poor people, and I just feel like they just didn't care about us.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I feel like if this would have happened anywhere else,
Would have been different words.
I think it would have been different. Even I'm saying 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
if it would have happened anywhere else, I feel like it would have been the response time, like the safety, getting people out, evacuate. I feel like it would have been.
So people evacuating from wildfires and earthquakes, they're not called refugees in California.
No.
Or the floods in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They wasn't called refugees.
Right.
And that was country folk.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't call them refugees.
Right.
So that was kind of one thing I wish they would have picked a different word.
Right. Me too.
Over the media.
Me too. Because they rang with that. I mean,
Yeah.
all those news stations, they rang with that.
Yeah.
Refugees.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been studying the media, and if it, what's the expression? If it don't have rhythm and rhymes, you hear the same things over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And the national media, the way they, and also the powers, the way they see New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
How would you clarify, the people in New Orleans and clear stereotypes as far as how people see us?
I guess they feel like we just
Mm-hmm.
poor black people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. The only thing that they have going there is Mardi Gras and Bourbon Street.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they just poor, black, uneducated. That's how they look at us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's how I was wondering, because Mr. Walter, the first interview, I had his thoughts about that, and he shared about him in the 50s, about him getting on the bus, and of course the black sat in the back.
Right.
And little boy came on the bus, moved the screen, to the back of the bus, and all the blacks had to move to the back. So he was like, "Well, me being 85, I've experienced
Seen a
it.
lot more, yeah.
Yeah. So, um,
And I guess he's
yeah,
saying nothing changed.
yeah,
Still the same.
still the same. Even the Katrina.
Mm.
So I think that they could have picked a better word.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Refugees. What word do you think they should have picked?
Um, Saints. Real life saints. Because saints go through tribulation. We wouldn't do that.
Right.
Because you can't be a saint without going through tribulation.
Right.
Look at Peter and Paul and all them. So as an English teacher, I was like, oh, interesting. So. All right, so we already talked about when the water rose. So go ahead and give us a recap as far as how fast you think the water rose in that moment when y'all were trying to, hurry up and rush and get to safety.
Oh, I want to say within minutes. Like I said, I was looking through that window and I looked at that tide and I was seeing how fast like that water was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it come up into the house. I want to say within minutes.
Okay. All right.
Within minutes.
And that's when y'all decided to rush to get up to the
attic.
Okay.
Went in the hallway, pulled that little springy little thing down.
Yeah.
We all got up in there.
Okay.
So within minutes.
Okay. Well, so the people in America has to know that was August in New Orleans. It was hot.
Yep.
No electricity.
Yeah.
No AC. New Orleans hot. No air conditioning. Did you have to put holes in the roof to get? Or was it a window?
We didn't have to put no holes through because it didn't make it all the way up.
All right.
So we didn't have to put no holes like to escape to get on the roof or nothing like that because it didn't get that high.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So did anybody? Was everybody pretty much strong? Were there any breakdowns? And
No, we were sad. We all was sad. We just couldn't believe what we.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they say when a storm come, like a lot of storms, little small storms pass New Orleans, when people just stay here and just ride it out. We was just thinking we was gonna ride it out. We was gonna have a little wind damage and pick right back up. So that's where everybody's minds was at, why they stayed. But like I said, we were supposed to leave. I can't believe we didn't leave because my mom gassed the car up and everything. So I'm like, still like, why we did not leave?
Yeah.
But I think my mama didn't leave because she thought the people was gonna break in our house.
Yeah.
That's what I truly believe the reason why. I know she probably gonna watch this interview. Well, but that's the reason I really truly believe my mom thought that those people was because she had it was a dual house.
Yes.
So I feel like she thought those people was gonna come and break in her house. And I wish we would have just left.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, me as a parent, like, I know my mom, that's different, different timing. But by me experiencing what I have experienced, if they say a storm, I'm getting me and my children out. Like, we getting out. Because every time they would say a storm, like when we had storms, my husband, he get us out of here because we don't want our kids to experience nothing like that.
Okay. Well, I hope
trauma.
Yeah.
Like you think about it.
Okay.
Like especially with them having since it's 20 years and they having all this stuff, I'll be like, oh, I don't know if I could really handle like bring that up because I try to like block that day out of my mind completely, but not since you turn the TV on this K20 this and all.
Yeah. So I hope America can spell the word circumstance, because a lot of people weren't able to leave. Some had the means, some didn't.
Right.
Every American is different.
Right.
what would you say to other Americans that think, oh, they should have left? They're under sea level. Because I always tell people, you live near the San Andreas Fault in California, where they got earthquakes. You live in an area where there's wildfires.
Right. But
From
you
history,
choose to stay.
why don't y'all move?
Right.
Californians
Right.
or Arizonians.
Mm-hmm.
So, how would you clear that up with Americans as far as circumstance and understanding?
Because we stayed, but we could have left. Like my mom had a nice car. She had money. We could have left. We didn't have to stay. That's why I be saying like, why did we stay? But on the other hand, you had people who really couldn't get out because if you think about it, New Orleans is like a real poor city. And during that time, a lot of people didn't have cars like we had. The RTA,
Right.
the transit system, it got people around to where they want to go because we live in such a small city. So it's not like you need a car. It's not like Texas. Like Texas, you need a car.
We call it Rita.
Yeah, but Rita, you could get on Rita and Rita get you where you gotta go because it's a small city. Like I said, we could get around. So, but a lot of people just didn't have the luxury to just pack up and leave. Like, then the city didn't have those things enforced, like with sheltering and all this. Because I feel like if they would have had that in place, a lot of people wouldn't have been at home. People would have left like, oh Lord, then they did go to the Superdome, which they had all that and the convention center. I don't even think the convention center was a shelter. I think they just made that out of shelter. People just started going there. I'm not sure because I don't remember.
You think it was a trap for them to go to?
I don't know because I remember them saying the Superdome, but I don't remember the convention center. But a lot of people just didn't have the money. Like they didn't have that. So
they had ladies that went, ladies from New Orleans that appeared before Congress months after Katrina to give their story. And the Congress panel, they had a hard time putting themselves in their shoes because they never experienced what ladies went through. Them telling their story about the people said it was a breach in the levee. What are your thoughts about the breach?
That's interesting because I always like a breach in the levee, and I hear a lot of people saying, "No, they heard a boom," but my thoughts on that, I really do believe that it wasn't a breach because I'm trying to figure out how all of
the man-made, you think?
Yeah, I believe so. Because how all of the poor areas got all of that water, like Bourbon Street. I don't even think they had water on Bourbon Street. I think people was outside, like St. Charles Magazine, all up in there. Yeah, they had like wind damages, power line, trees, but I don't recall them getting water or suffering how my people had to suffer and lost their lives. Like I just think it was intentionally done.
Yeah, because I remember Monday and Tuesday, it wasn't no 10 foot of water. Because that Wednesday, I think the water was much higher. And I've heard like multiple accounts of, like the ladies that went before Congress, there was a boom,
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
That's just what I heard. A boom. That's what I didn't hear, but I heard people say that was in that area. They say they heard that.
People that lived there, they heard.
That lived there. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I was in there. They was there, and that's what they heard, and I truly believe they did.
Yeah.
Cause
well, if they've been there 20 years, then they know their neighborhood.
Right.
They know sounds that they're not used to.
Right.
So just wanted to clear that part up
right.
for America because there has been speculation
right.
about that. So.
Because I don't feel like it was a breach. I just can't see like I can't see that happening.
Yeah. Now maybe if the hurricane was 20 miles more west, that would have been a much dangerous scenario, because Mississippi got a big brunt of it.
Yeah.
So if that eye was over New Orleans, then maybe a natural breach. But that bowling ball effect, that hook at the last minute, I think we kind of avoided a little disaster.
Could have been worse, right?
It could have been worse. So, levee breaches is something Americans always talk about. Tourists come to New Orleans, be like, "What happened?" As far as Mayor Ray Nagin, who was the mayor at the time, um, a hurricane scenario is something that no mayor wants to be in on the Gulf Coast. Regardless of what state you're in or what city. How would you rate Mayor Nagin's response? Because you have the federal, the state, and the local. What's your take on that?
Let me see. Because I don't want to put all the pressure up on him, because he's the mayor, because you got people that's over him.
Correct.
But I had watched something like a documentary, and it was when they had said, "Oh, did the storm turn?" and just the way it was going. So it was kind of last minute for him,
right,
to call like the shots, like
because it wasn't just Orleans Parish; it was multiple parishes.
Right. So I don't really want to put all the pressure on him, but I know it kind of like fall on him, because you got your governor. I think Katrina was our governor at the time. Because I'm like, where she was at? I think she was still all together with the other people.
Yeah.
I had to see like a 6. I had to say a 6.
6 out of 10. Well,
because he is the mayor. He was the mayor.
Yeah.
And we were your people.
Well, for his defense, he told people to get out. Mandatory evac. He told people to get out. That was our first ever mandatory evac.
And when he told people, how many days before the storm did he tell people to get out?
That was probably when Katrina was a Cat 5 in the middle of the Gulf, and maybe it could have been done sooner. But what's your thoughts?
Because that's what I'm thinking. Like, because we had the city of New Orleans, and then you gotta imagine everybody trying to get out at the same time, and
Correct.
That's why they had, even with the routes that they had both sides was open.
It took us 8 hours to get to Baton Rouge.
That's a 1 hour drive.
Yeah.
Like all those people, like then the gas. I'm thinking about everybody, like the gas. People was running out of gas. People were stranded. Like that, and then people back to New Orleans. Now I have been since a little girl, because my dad lived in Long Island, New York. So I have always traveled from grade school up into high school. And I've been to New York, I've been to North Carolina, I've been to places. But you have people from New Orleans who have never been outside of New Orleans in these vehicles. Like, some of the people don't know about getting a tune-up, having ties, like, and you put all of these people on the road at the same time. Like, I was like, I wish that would have been thought out, but we really never experienced that in our time. So, I'm just thinking, like, you still on the road. These people still ran out of gas. People still was on the side. The traffic was horrible going both ways, because I know.
On both sides.
Yeah, because my boyfriend at the time, because me and David was like just 2 years in our relationship, because he had evacuated. So they went to Atlanta. But they was in traffic, and then you got traffic going both ways, and
Correct.
people still in all this traffic trying to get out.
Correct.
So I'm like, it was a mess just to begin with, because like I said, people from New Orleans really haven't been nowhere outside of New Orleans. Some of people haven't even been to Baton Rouge, like past the Plaza, like
Right.
you know. So
Yeah.
then gas, like getting there, that's ooh.
Yeah.
You could get to Baton Rouge on a half a tank of gas, but I'm talking about with no traffic, you could get there on half a tank of gas.
Because when you idle, that thing gonna burn.
Right.
It can burn gas.
Right.
Yeah. I kept hearing the word. Well, I heard the word 10,000. Nagin was at a Household of Faith church, and he said something about 10,000 body bags that the state had ordered because they feared there was a lot of people that had died. I was in Baton Rouge watching CNN when Katrina hit, and I saw 10,000 are feared to be dead. And I'm like, you know, you see patterns in life, hear patterns. I'm like, what's your take on that as far as, you know, them expecting that many people, and it was on like 1900?
Yeah. I think they probably thought that many people probably stayed, but a lot of people did evacuate. See, so you did have a lot of people that evacuated,
Right.
versus a lot of people staying. You did have a lot of people stayed there, a lot of people who evacuated. So I'm glad people was able to evacuate, because I think about my grandmother. She lived it across the canal. Praise God, they left.
The Desire side?
Yeah, like we grew up on Louisa, but then my grandmother's house had burned down on Louisa, so she had moved across the canal, like the lower Ninth Ward. So if she would have stayed, she probably wouldn't be here today. So I'm kind of happy that my grandmother did.
Lower Ninth got hit bad.
Bad, because they got hit bad, and we didn't even know how bad they got hit till we was able to watch the coverage, like when we made it to Baton Rouge, my mom friend, then we was watching like CNN, we saw like, wow, you didn't even know. Yeah. We thought we just had it bad in the east, because like I said, we thought it was that Lake Pontchartrain water had came over, but all the while it was like majority of the city. Yeah,
but it could have been 10,000, but New Orleans got some resilient people. You know, we gonna find.
We know how to stick together. We probably a mess.
I say we, because I'm from New Orleans. Yeah. You heard me?
Baby.
We gonna find a way.
Right, we found a way.
Yeah.
We really have some good people here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you, we do. I have been to 30 states. And I could have been left.
And they got,
because I have seen.
And they got Tony Chachere, huh?
Look, I have been to many states, been to a lot of places. And if my husband was living when our kids graduated, we said we would settle down in Flagstaff, Arizona, because we loved it. That it was like chill, laid back. But nothing is just like home. Nothing is like home. Like when we was in Dallas, we stayed there for 4 years until we moved back. Because it wasn't home. It is nicer, and they have all the bells, and they have all the whistles, and they got all of this and that. But nothing beats home. Like my husband just loved New Orleans culture so much. Yeah. He wanted to come back home, and we came back home. Yeah. But I love New Orleans, and people be like, since my husband passed away, they be like, now you have this time where you could leave. Like, you know, you could. And I be like, God just haven't given me that sign yet. He just haven't given me that sign yet to leave New Orleans, because I could have packed up and could have been out of here. Yeah. So bigger and better, but it's just something about New Orleans. We got to Dallas, and we was tackled, because that's all, you know. Right. We couldn't find our food down. I mean, mayonnaise. We don't even use blue plate here. We don't use all that stuff what they got down there. Yeah. They ain't have none of. We love shrimp. Gulf, from out the Gulf of Mexico. that it just was so different. Like our seasoning, like our
Yeah.
black the people like they pickle meat, they all ham. They just didn't have all that in Texas, but now they do have a lot of that stuff. So people could have that part of home, like living in Houston. They could have their little gumbo. Like a lot of people left in where they landed, wherever they stand. They brought New Orleans there, because I'm starting to see a lot of like stuff. I be going out of town. I be like, you be out of town, you want to try something different. But then you be saying, well, you from New Orleans? Yeah, they got this. Okay, let me get a po' boy, like but ain't nothing like home. I love New Orleans. This is my city, born and raised.
Yes.
Love my city.
All right. Okay.
And I'm glad. I wish we'd just work on some stuff. I think we should be farther than what we were. Cause like if you go down to across the canal, it's still like they don't have grocery stores. You'll be like 20 years later, they all that blighted property, like it's just look like a third world country.
I'll be going to a forum in the lower night. We're gonna talk about that. We gotta revitalize that area.
They have to, like, you have to bring back these communities, like New Orleans East. Like you have to bring it back to what it was. Bring it better, because we in the 21st century. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
We gotta do better.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping that is headed into election season, and I'm hoping that the new people that come in, they do their jobs. Do their jobs.
Okay. Now, the rescue efforts you went through, trying to get the better safety, how would you rate that and the whole process you went through? Was you good, fair, bad? I know it's a lot of chaos. So how would you rate it from your perspective?
I would put it, if they had something in between fair and bad. Like if they had something in the middle. Because
so 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10.
I'm gonna say a 6. I'm gonna say like probably like a 5.5.
Okay.
Because I'm like it.
Because the fact that they say get on without your kids.
Yeah,
that automatically knocks 4 points off 10.
Right, like that was. I didn't like that the way everything was handled, but I'm like our time. Like I'm looking at other people versus what like those people that was at the Superdome. They was there like 4-5 days in there, and I'm like, I was at home. We was able to make it to the interstate. We made it to the interstate where you had the rude military people telling us to get on. Then we got to Causeway. We stayed there, but we only not even a whole day, because they say my mama did, and then they got us to Baton Rouge. So we was able to like move. We didn't really have to sit in it like how we sat at home for them 2 to 3 days. So once we got past that, everything was kind of flowing, because we moved along and we got to Baton Rouge. Then we went by some people. Then we got on plane. We found my sisters and brothers them. So after that, like it just kind of flowed. It wasn't like we had to wait days like to get out the Superdome, and like we was moving along. Like once we got
at transport to Baton Rouge, was that pretty quick?
That was fast. I think it was just that was
okay.
We got there quickly.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
And then, they had to wait, all the other people, that's what I'm saying, those people was under that bridge. They had to wait for the buses and all that to get bussed out. We was transported in the vehicle. So.
Okay. Head start kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Mr. Walter was saying, it was kind of fair. But everybody's experience individually was different.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. But we all just faced that same trauma.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the worst thing you think you've seen in that whole ordeal. Besides the dog that
Yeah.
was trapped.
That was like the worst to me. That dog, like I was
Mhm.
like, that dog even was trying to get to safety.
What
Like,
was his collar caught
like
or?
no, it was like he must was trying to get over like the gate. You know how they had the little twines in that gate. You know how, and he just was on there, like in the middle, like his body was puffed up, and it just, oh, it was,
Yeah.
yeah. That was like the worst thing I saw.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. Well, compared to others, like it's a good thing you hadn't seen
Dead bodies.
the convention center.
Yeah, like
that
my
would have been.
brother, that was them. So that's why I look at them and I be saying, you think your story, then it's just, not to compare stories, like, but you be like, oh, they really went through this because they saw the dead bodies, they saw all this, like.
Yeah.
But the hardest part was just not knowing what my siblings were. That was like one of the hardest and the toughest things, just not knowing what it was.
Okay. How long did it take for y'all to reunite?
Oh, I want to say like 2 to 3 weeks before we knew exactly what it was.
That's too long.
That's a long time because you don't know, because we watching the news coverage. So we seeing like, oh, look at these people. Now we know they did make it out the house alive. We do know that, right? But we like, where they at? Like, what did it? We didn't know if they went to the convention center, to the Superdome. We don't know.
Or airlifted.
Yeah, so
my dad was airlifted, to Tennessee. So people was getting scattered every which way.
And then think about it, because I heard people saying when they did was rescue, like they will leave the fathers behind, and it was just saying women and kids only. Like I heard that under the Causeway Bridge. I heard that at the Superdome. People were saying it was just like women and kids first. So you was just separating families there when you wanted women and kids.
Yeah. So that's probably why you would give it the rating you would give it.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. To wrap up, reflecting back on August 29th, 2005, and the days thereafter, and especially regarding the young people, what advice would you give people in general and also young people based on your experience?
What I would give them, far as like if they was to experience something.
Yeah,
like this.
If they knew danger was coming, a storm or things like that, what admonition would you tell them?
To prepare themselves, to get themselves to safety before the event happen. Like if you hear about it, start making preparations to get out. Like,
okay, all right.
So we wouldn't have to have another story like this again.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like when we had that storm, we had 2 of them, right? Like that was like 5 years ago, and you saw how everybody we just left. Yeah. Because we didn't want. We know everything is better now.
See, I would have left during Ida, but I was running for mayor. And I don't want to seem like no punk. you a candidate running for mayor, you leave. Right. I don't want to do that because I ended up, picking up trash because it was a horrible smell in New Orleans after Ida. So thankfully, I was prepared with food during Ida. But with any disaster, tornado, wildfire, you should always, be prudent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So and as far as like people stocking up,
right?
Because I've been telling people to stock up for the past year. So what admonition would you give people for that? I gotta have my food.
Okay, now during hurricane season, I don't stock up on food. I don't do that. anymore because I learned my lesson during Ida.
Mm-hmm.
Because right before that storm came, like before they were saying that storm was coming, we went to make groceries. We went to Sam's and we had got tons of food.
Mm-hmm.
And the storm came, it was wasted. By the time we got home,
Mm-hmm.
we had to throw all that stuff
Yeah.
out. So I just try to do grocery shopping like weekly, like as I'm gonna prepare meals.
Yeah.
Because I know one thing, I'm not gonna stay home during the storm. So
Right.
I don't want to.
Because you know you're gonna leave.
Yeah. So I don't want to just waste food and money. So I don't like now. Like I just weekly shop like for the
Okay. All right. Yeah. You know, it's kind of a catch-20 because, you know, for one, you don't want your food to spoil.
Right.
Number two, you know, you don't know where the hurricane's going.
Right.
And number three, you, I guess, you know, it could be circumstance because some people could stock up for a day, some could stock up for a month. You know, some people got cash reserves, some don't. So it's a circumstance thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just feel like now, like we all, like a lot of people, we've been through a storm, and people who haven't been through it, they saw what we went through. Like we just at the time, like just trying to save money with this economy, but we know what we need to do now. So you just put your money to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like save up for hurricane season. So when this time when you have to leave, you'll be able to get you and your family to safety.
So cash reserves, you know, it's always good.
Yes.
Because you know, some store owners, you know, gave away stuff during the storm, but then again, you know, you still want to be prepared with cash.
Right.
You know, because you can always, you know, buy stuff with cash.
Right.
So I guess for the young people, you know, just to tell them be prepared and have enough savings. Have enough savings.
Put it to the side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's season. And going back to that, when you say you stay home and with the trash, with the smell.
Yes.
Okay. I need to know, when is the city, we paying for that trash $24.
Yes.
And we only getting picked out trash is only getting, we never, after that hurricane, we never went back to our regular trash pickup.
Regular service.
Yeah, we only get that one pickup when we used to get 2 picks up a week for the $24.
Yeah.
So I wonder what they need to cut out what bill they have, or they need to give us that extra day because you still have people with all this trash.
Yeah, it's got to be a plan. And also, when I ran for mayor, I was like, we got to have a hurricane clause. You know, let's double up on the trash before the hurricane get here. So that's one of my plans, and maybe get some of the young people to start a business in the East. You know, everybody see about $5,000, buy a little dump truck. I mean, the East got some easy routes.
Right.
You know, you can hit Crowder, Reed, Bullitt, Morrison, Hayne, have a little business. So I'm gonna talk to some of the young ones.
Yeah.
So in case we have another hurricane, we'll have a plan B and a plan C. Yeah, but that's a good question.
That trash wasn't getting picked up. It was out there for days, like before they was able to get that trash picked up.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing for young people.
Right.
As far as preparation, because we love cleanliness.
Right.
You know, our culture, we love cleanliness.
Right.
And you know, you got to get ahead of the storm, be prepared.
Right.
You know, so that's a great question.
Right.
Great question.
So trash could be picked up before the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I didn't thought about that.
Okay. All right. So, closing statement, final thoughts. What would you say to our fellow Americans about everything? To wrap it up.
I would say that they need to be more sensitive to the city of New Orleans, have a little more compassion, and back to that refugee thing.
Yeah.
everybody from New Orleans is, we probably be not poor, but
Hmm.
and everybody is not uneducated
Right.
just because they're black.
Right.
Yeah, so I say have
You have to be
compassion.
pretty smart to cook good food.
Right.
Because
And they come and they eat it,
they
right?
they got some boring food around America.
Yeah, because like I said, I've been to a lot of places and it's just,
Yeah.
and I ate at a lot of different places and it still don't compare to
Hmm.
New Orleans. It just don't compare.
Yeah.
It don't compare.
Okay.
They flock down here for our food. We good enough for them to come eat our food.
Yeah.
And they leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other 49 states, have a little more compassion,
Have another little more compassion.
some understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and me being a candidate, I would say let's have a little more respect for New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing it for a while, and we got some great people of all cultures.
Yes.
We got a lot of Honduras people here.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
It is. It is.
So, well, Miss LaQuanda, we appreciate it.
Okay.
It was a pleasure, and I'm glad Miss Michelle was able to let me meet you, because I'm trying to get some folks to get their experience, because it's a million stories.
Right.
And we just want to make sure that we have enough pieces,
right.
to know what really went on.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So, anything else?
Just hearing from people who was here and it actually happened and saw hands on.
Yes.
Not just what the media want them to see and.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I was upset when it was with that looting, when it was putting it was okay when it was colored people was coming at us, but when colored people was coming out, oh, they loot and they stealing. But then you have another race doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they trying to get food to eat.
Yeah. It was only Doritos. Fair. It was only Cheetos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something we want to clear up.
Right.
For America. You know, we some strong citizens.
Yes.
And we love our country.
Right.
Just as much as everybody else.
Right.
Yes.
We do.
Okay.
Resilient people, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, ma'am, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you
Thank
too.
you.
It was nice.
And hopefully we can do a part 2.
Yes.
If people love this on YouTube.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell all my friends about this.
Okay.
And
I gotta. I'm gonna share what I want you.
Yeah.
Everything over. I'm gonna share it on my Facebook and with my family to go.
Okay.
Get it.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, we appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And for all our young people, please subscribe and support. And we'll leave Ms. LaQuanda's information on the screen. If you're watching this in other parts of America, please support. And also in the description box below, we'll have information as well. All righty. All right. Thank y'all very much, and I want to give you a quick hug.
Oh, thank you.
While I'm right here, I gave Mr. Walter a handshake, but that was a man. But now we have a beautiful black woman, Miss LaQuanda. We appreciate it. And if y'all want to support, go ahead and look at the description box. We'll leave Miss LaQuanda's Cash App on the screen, information. So we definitely appreciate y'all watching this interview. And hopefully we can have more interviews.
Right.
If you know anybody else who have a different perspective
of
Katrina. So we thank y'all, and we'll see you soon.